Si chiama Sapo.
Try? You have to.
How long do you let coffee, after you brew it, how long will you drink it?
After I brew it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll brew it. I'll drink it till it's finished. I mean, I don't have I mean, in the office. I mean, we'll serve in the stores. We won't serve it all day. That's for sure. I mean, it's only supposed to go an hour, and it's in a thermos. It's not on heat. So we have a limit in the store. But I'll drink it for longer than that. I mean, I'll brew it in the morning. I'll put it in a thermos, and I'll drink it till it's gone. If it takes an hour, if it takes 5 hours, I'll still drink it. And when I use and when I used to roast myself in Jersey, I could go at 4 in the morning, and I would take coffee in a thermos. I would brew it at home and bring it with me, and so I would be drinking thermos coffee basically all day until I left the factory. It could be 6 hours, could be 10 hours, and so thermos coffee has a definite flavor. I don't know if you understand that, if you know that, but if you had coffee from thermos versus coffee fresh, it's got a flavor. And it's not a great flavor, but doesn't ruin the coffee necessarily. But you get used to it. So now, of course, anytime I have coffee from a thermos, I mean it's very apparent. But I still drink it from a thermal carafe rather than keep getting up and brewing it fresh. I mean, I have to get some work done.
Maybe that's my problem. Let's talk about seasonality for a second. You know, I wrote about seasonality in my book, and I know you have some fair challenges to the concept. And well, you know, by seasonality, I'm just going to give my definition. I'm talking about the idea that there's a perfect time of year to buy Sumatran coffee, a perfect time of year to buy Colombian, a perfect time that's Kenya.
There may be a perfect time, but it's a different time each year, and it may be multiple times each year depending on the origin. But I like to sell coffee, and I don't consider myself so much of a snob that I won't carry a coffee because it's more than 12 weeks off the tree. I mean, the coffee's still good. I mean, so we endeavor to purchase the best quality coffees to start with, new crop coffees from the best part of the crop, and we endeavor to buy as much as we'll need for a certain time frame. Some coffees we only can get once a year, and I'll buy a year's supply, and it'll be fine. Some like a Kenya, for instance, is a nice hard bean. It will hold. But other coffees, like a Panama, I would never buy a year's supply, because that coffee just tends to get baggy fast. So we'll buy a few months' supply, and then generally I may recup coffees that are available if there are any, but generally we don't buy it again because they're all tired by that point. So there are some coffees certainly that have an issue that way, and I don't want to sell baggy coffee, that's for sure. The coffees that we sell in the greatest quantity is Colombian coffee, and Colombia's got the benefit of being very close to the equator, and it's got a fly crop and a main crop. So the fly crop is a smaller crop than the main crop, so it's got 2 crops a year. But since there are microclimates, the main crop and the fly crop are not the same all over the country. So some places have the main crop while others have the fly crop. And so there are a lot of sort of microclimates. So what we do is, rather than buy coffee once or twice a year, we buy 5 containers a year or so. Instead of buying 2 and 3 or 4 and 1, we buy 5 times a year. We actually go down there and have coffee selected for us and purchased at 5 times a year, and we go to certain areas where it's where they're picking quality coffee at that time within generally a 2-state radius. I've gotten samples from other areas, but I like the profile from Huila and Tolima, and Tolima has subsequently become a hot area again since we started using it. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. But really nice coffee from that area. and for a long time it really wasn't available very as in the specialty grade because there is a lot of guerrilla activity there. So it all went into blends. So it was hard to get as a separate coffee. So. So there's an aspect of seasonality that we go further. We spend more time and energy getting coffee fresh, so that we're still selling it fresh. To the in terms of the green aspect, still selling it fresh. So I mean I don't call it seasonality exactly, but we endeavor to sell coffee as fresh as we can. And then other coffees, we do utilize the packaging that's available in order to preserve the freshness of the green. If it's a coffee that's, well, Cup of Excellence coffees now all come vacuum packed in Mylar bags, so they come or say preserved, let's say, so that they'll be good whenever we use them. Although we don't buy very much of them, so we use them within a relatively short time frame. But quality-wise, we know that when we open the bag, the green will be nice and fresh. But for larger shipments, we are either asking that it be packed, or some farmers and exporters are now offering this packaging. There's a Brazilian coffee called Daterra. They package their coffees now this way. We got some Kenyan coffee last year that we also took in vacuum bags because we were getting it in a very large supply. And even though Kenya holds pretty well, it still will, react in a sizable bag. So we took the opportunity. The exporter was offering it this way, so we took him up on it.